Good evening, everybody. How's it going?
Good evening.
Tonight
Hi
we
there.
have oh, tonight we have the distinct pleasure to be joined by LGR, Lazy Game Reviews, aka Clint. Thank you for joining us on our weekly live stream.
No problem at all. Happy to be here.
And tonight we're
It'll
gonna
be
be playing
fun.
something that is. Would you say that King's Quest is very near and dear to your heart? Do you have?
For me, I mean, yeah, it was something that came sort of later in my life, but it reminded me of so many other. Like, I didn't realize how influential it was, and then I just went back and explored it and just ended up loving the whole series. So
Mhm.
it's awesome.
Yeah, I'd say it's near and dear to my heart too. Again, not much of a connection until later, but I did play a fair bit of King's Quest V on my uncle's computer. Well before my family had a computer of our own. So especially got a soft spot for King's Quest V. I played in college. I played the Homestar Runner Peasant's Quest, which is the exact same experience, really, just a little easier and a little more humorous. But then, probably like I don't know, maybe 4 years ago, I streamed most of actually I think 1 through 6, the collection that they've got on Steam. And I just loved the whole thing. I love the idea of interacting with a game world through text, because instead of you're pushing a button to perform some action that you know what you're going to do, you come up with the action in your head and just hope that the game can do something with it. And I think that's a really interesting way of interacting, and you don't get a similar experience to that today, I feel.
Now that was the big thing that attracted me as well. The first game I ever played, even like that, was Hugo's House of Horrors, and there were a couple subsequent ones on the PC, and they rip off King's Quest almost like to a T. The same interface, the same parser commands, the same style of graphics, but yeah, it was that feeling of being able to use text. And it felt
Mhm.
like it was an infinite possibility space. Like
Exactly.
anything you could think of, it could be done. And so
Yeah.
that's,
Well,
I'm kind of curious now what a console translation of this is going to be like,
yeah.
because there's no text, I guess.
Yeah, well, for me, what really clicked with me, I had the dumbest experience when I was playing King's Quest One. I don't know if this would work in all versions. I played what I think is called the VGA version, which is a remade graphics. It's sort of, I would say, close to the style of King's Quest Five, but maybe not quite that level. I sort of forget. Um, but there's this part where there's a goat in a pen, and I forget
Yes.
exactly what you need to do with the goat, but I had no ideas at the time, and I happened to have a knife, and
Oh, God.
I I had absolutely no expectation of this working, but I was just like banging my head against the wall trying to figure out what I could do, and I just typed in, "I wonder what would happen." I wrote "open goat," and it said, Graham took the knife and stabbed he literally opened the goat with the knife. That is a thing you can do, at least in the VGA version or whatever version it was I played. And that just made me realize, like, wow, you think of it. This game lets you do it. Like, if that was in a modern game, like, the goat would have, have a immortal status put on, because you can't kill the goat, because you need the goat to progress. So, but that game, I mean, not literally endless possibilities, but it does a good job of making you feel like there are.
Yeah, no, it really does. And you can feed the goat the carrot and do the right thing. But yeah, I mean, you could punch the goat, you could stab the goat, you could lead the goat into certain death outside, get eaten by a wolf, I think. And there's all
Hmm.
sorts of things you can do with it. And those games don't shy away from letting you screw up, at least on the
Yeah.
PC, because those, I mean, yeah, there's so many dead men walking scenarios where either you will just get to a point where no matter what you do, you can't progress, or you'll die in an absolutely insane way. And it's kind of endearing, which is something that is interesting because LucasArts so often shied away from that. They were
Mm.
in their adventure games, which were similar on the surface. Most of those you couldn't die, and
Yeah,
it
which
was
is
kind of the
refreshing in
opposite
its own
approach.
way.
Yeah, those are about the story, the exploration, the world, and the
Yeah, I
Sierra
mean,
ones were too, but they felt more. I mean, it was dire
dangerous.
consequences. Yes,
Yeah,
much.
yeah, yeah. You know, there's a time and place for each game, and it just kind of depends on my mood. You know, I know obviously you are very much known for your love of PC games and your knowledge of old PC stuff, but you know, for me, I PC gaming has never been a huge focus for me, and you know, my family didn't even have a proper computer until '97. But the games for me that have really grabbed my attention on PC have been those adventure games. You know, Myst and Riven were the ones that I mainly played back in the day. Played a little King's Quest V, but really it's been more recent years I've come along to play some stuff like the Monkey Island games and the whole King's Quest series. And you know, even now, like those games are making a good impression on me. Like, you know, just adventure gaming on the PC. That's definitely what I associate with PC.
Yeah, it's one of the strongest points I think for the PC back then, because
Mhm.
of that. You know, you had the different ways of interacting with it, and the games could be larger. At least for a while, they were larger. I mean, you know, you had King's Quest 5 and 6 coming on like 7, 8 floppy disks, and these were just massive worlds compared to
Mhm.
anything else that was out there
Right.
on the NES at the time. I mean, that game was like 1989, 1990, so yeah, it was pretty ahead of its time. So if you had a computer for school or work or something, you could. Chances are there was a King's Quest or something similar hanging around on the hard drive.
Yeah. So how the heck does the Master System version work? I mean, you don't know a lot
Well,
about this one.
No, I've never seen this one in
I
action.
I did not know it existed until Corey gave me a background from it for the most recent episode. And I looked at that and I'm like, that is King's Quest, and I'm pretty sure those look like Master System graphics. I did not know this existed, and I'm kind of intrigued because you know I've got the Steam collection, and I would love to have a physical copy of it. I'm going to look up right now how expensive this version of the game is,
you're like,
because
oh.
I'm curious myself.
I feel like it could be bad. King's Quest,
Some of these
Master System.
weird versions of Sierra games do go for an awful lot. So I don't
Yeah.
know about the Master System so much.
Oh,
It depends on if
this
it was an American release.
Oh, this one was, yeah.
let's see.
This one, it said it was a Sega version is by Microsmiths Inc. I've never even heard of it.
Christmas.
This is not bad at all, actually. Like I'm seeing several for around 30,
Yeah,
but I
that's
see
not bad.
one that's like 60. I have no idea why.
Yeah, looking at the sold listings on eBay, it looks like a boxed copy will take you about $45 or
That's-
so at the low end.
Yeah, that's
Not too
So-
bad, I guess.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
not too bad. I could be tempted. I've always kind of wanted to get the NES version of King's Quest V, even though I'm pretty sure it's probably not good at all. But I kind of just want it.
Yeah, I kind of would too. I mean, it's playable. I have at least played it through, you know, like emulation. But man, I don't know. It just seems so strange to me to play anything like this with a controller, much less one with 2 buttons. Um, so-
Yeah, so I don't
I'm gonna
know
go
how
ahead and
this
start.
is. Yeah, go ahead. I want
See
to
this
see.
thing.
I mean, so I was explaining before, like when we were just kind of talking before the stream. This does not have any kind of battery backup. It has a password system, but the password system does not allow you to, like, if you die and have to continue, you have to put it in every time. So what I'm going to be doing is every once in a while I'm going to be taking a screenshot with my other capture card so I can put in the password if I die, because it's really, really easy to die in this.
Oh yeah.
All right, so let's see.
I don't think you're going to finish. I mean, this can be an involved game.
Well, you can actually, if you know what you're doing, the original King's Quest, you can get through it in about 25 minutes.
Oh yeah,
But-
it's short, but I don't feel optimistic. Corey's got
Yeah, I'm
that kind
kinda
of look on his
curious.
side.
We'll
Well,
see.
that Graham sprite is interesting, but it's not that bad. It's in a lot of ways
It's,
an upgrade over the original, you know, DOS style.
So as you'll see, like hitting the I don't know what it transfers to.
Okay, so you've got some verbs.
Yeah,
that,
yeah. Exactly.
All
Like
right.
it's. I guess you could say it's more like LucasArts in a way. You know, like the way
A
you have.
little bit,
Yeah.
or even some of the kind of like JRPG 8-bit stuff.
Yeah,
I've
yeah,
seen.
like Dragon Quest or Dragon
Right.
Age.
So it actually kind of, in a weird way, makes me think of. I saw an NES game recently, and I can't remember what it was. I can't remember what it was, but kind of had a Zelda-ish. Um, it had like an Arabian theme, and it was kind of Zelda-ish.
On the Master
And,
System.
no, on NES.
Okay.
And the
Did you
funny thing
bow
is,
to the king first?
I did. Is
Okay,
that?
good. It is vital.
Yeah, I mean, I did, and then I talked to him. Is that like
Okay.
a big?
It's going by so quickly. Yeah, it's like if you don't bow to the king, it's like, oh man. Yeah.
oh yeah, 8-bit Gnosis says magic of Sherazade, or however you say it.
Oh, right.
And it was funny because it's kind of like a Link's Awakening style setup where you can put whatever you want on A and whatever you want on B. Well, not necessarily though, because certain actions could only be A actions and certain ones could only be B actions. But it was funny because like talk was one of the actions that you had to equip. You know, so it was almost like Dragon Quest, the original Dragon Quest style, where you had to, press menu to stairs and press menu to talk and press menu to door, but you actually had to equip talk.
So you guys will have to tell me like what I'm supposed to be
That,
doing here, because I really don't know.
Well, you don't want to hit the troll.
yeah, I think you need something to get through there.
I'm just gonna kind of walk around and see what happens.
I'm pretty impressed with the graphics. Like, it's a different style, but
Oh, there's the goat you're talking about.
like there's kind of a lot going on here.
You can kill the
like
goat.
you know,
Look at the goat.
I'm definitely a. Oh yeah, there's a gun. Yeah,
And it's-
the graphics. The graphics aren't bad.
It flat out says kill goat. It's one of the things you can choose
Alright.
from. Am I supposed to go in the cave first? Kindly Condor appears. You might be able to hitch a ride.
I'm
Do I want to hitch a ride yet?
I kind of like the text box style. From my memory, it's pretty authentic to the PC version. I mean, I assume the order of events is basically the same. Is there in your menu anywhere? Is there like a score? Because I think there's like you can get like 250 score or something like that.
Yeah, I have 3
Yeah,
right
something
now.
like that.
And it says invisibility, no. Shrunken, no. My score is 3 though. I have nothing in my inventory. But I saw something about. I was kind of looking up if there's a way to continue in this like easier, and apparently there is a very hard mode, and you unlock that if you beat hard mode in 15 minutes. So apparently it's possible to beat it in 15 minutes.
I could believe that. There's quite a few things that you can skip in this game to just sort of get to what you want. I mean, basically, you get a couple of things, solve a puzzle, get the beans, get up to the giants area, and then you solve all that and come back down. You're basically done once you get through the dragon. So it's just this seems like it would take longer, but who knows?
Okay, so I'm in the witch's house. There's a piece of candy outside it. I guess if I eat that, it probably kills me.
Probably, I don't remember.
You should be able to eat the house.
Eat the house?
Yeah.
But there's cheese.
Are you
and
sure that's the first game?
Yeah, there's parts of the witch's house that you can eat. This is like Hansel and Gretel. So the house is made of candy and gingerbread and stuff.
Yeah, most of the King's Quest games, or at least the early ones especially, like take, just liberally just pull from, fairy tales.
Yeah, very much. It's an homage to fairy tale fantasy worlds and all that kind of thing.
Okay,
eat the cheese.
Oh, you want me to? Should I eat the cheese?
No, probably not.
It says you can't do that now. There's a note over there next to the bed. We'll go look at that. But I can look inside that thing here. Let's see. Note. You see nothing special. Can I take the note?
I'm wondering who made this version.
No, it said it was published by Parker Brothers. It said in the
It
title
was
screen.
Microsmiths Incorporated
Yeah.
that made the port.
Hmm.
Apparently, they also ported over like Mean 18, Bimini Run, Drax Night Out, a few
Oh.
other things for like random systems.
Bimini Run. I captured a background for that for the last episode too. That's the boat game. It's kind of like a boat afterburner.
Yep.
Do you have any experience with the 8th game, Mask of Eternity?
All right, I took the cheese.
Yeah, Mask of Eternity is one that I've so far avoided.
I've heard that, if you get in the mindset of, yes, I understand this game is not at all like a King's Quest game. I've heard it's actually pretty interesting.
I've
but
heard the
I've not
same.
played it.
It's from that early era of we don't really know what to do with 3D, but we're going to try anyway.
Yeah,
Especially with Sierra, they were very experimental during that time. I mean, they were coming out with FMV games left and right. They did a few bizarre 3D experiments, and they were really getting outside of their normal realm of what they were known for in the past. So I'd like to try it out sometime. I mean, I have it, of course, but
it's got like some interesting combat in, if I'm not mistaken.
yeah, there's something about the combat that's I don't know,
Unique,
kind of.
but I forget what it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you touched the
witch is coming after me. Oh, jeez.
You're supposed to
new
push the
episodic
witch
series yet?
into like the fireplace.
Okay, well, she
I
wasn't
can't
in the
s-
house
can't-
before. Here's the.
Oh. Yeah, I can't quite see your screen. It's still catching up.
See, if I wasn't.
Yeah, every once in a while too, you might click the live button, and that'll like jump you up closer to time in real time. If you hover over the stream window, but it
Well, usually,
Oh yeah.
if I wasn't.
sometimes YouTube streams are problematic for me, but so far this has been pretty smooth.
If I didn't have to do the password the way that I did, I could actually send my capture device through to you over Skype, which is what I started doing recently, so that you could see stuff in real time without any kind of delay.
Do you have any experience with King's Quest VII?
Oh, 7, yeah, for sure.
Have you finished it? Because that's actually of like the original 1 through 7. That's the one I did not finish.
Yeah, I haven't finished it personally, but I have finished it alongside like watching Pushing Up Roses play. Because she actually reviewed that like 2 days ago,
Right.
and she put up
wow.
a whole video about that one, and she's a big fan of it. Me, not so much, but that one is very cartoony, and it's actually got some of the same people doing the animation that also did the Legend of Zelda CDI games. So
Really, I can see that now that you say so. I can see that. I got to like the last 3/4. Did she mention in her review the issues about timing the CPU speed?
in that one, I don't remember there being too many issues.
Well,
'Cause
there's
at least if you played it during the Windows version, that played pretty well once you got the patched one. I don't think she mentioned the difference between 1.0 and 2.0. 1.0 was notoriously awful, so much that they ended up recalling it from store shelves and sending
wow.
out fixed versions to anyone that asked for it. So they
Really?
re-released it with a totally different box, totally different cover art. And
Wow.
I've actually got both versions, and the
Yeah.
1.0 has an incredible amount of problems, but
Well-
2.0 is pretty playable.
The version that comes with the package that is on Steam.
Oh, there's a thieving dwarf nearby. Jeez.
There's a like I want to say it's like about 3/4 through the game, or maybe even closer to the end than that. There's this point where you've got like a stick of dynamite or a bomb or something, and the timer on it is based on your I guess your CPU cycles or whatever. So in other words, if you're playing that game on a modern computer, then it's going to blow up after you take like 2 steps, and you can't finish the game unless you do some sort of shenanigans, which I never bothered to look into, really. So that's kind of a weird situation.
That's pretty common on a lot of the older games for PC that have been put on Steam too. They don't do the kind of quality control to make sure that that doesn't happen. The release on GOG, if I recall, if there's 7 on there, I know that the other ones they fixed. I don't remember if 7's on GOG, but they fixed the timing issues. Like, they'll patch them and do their own stuff, but the Steam ones don't. Those are just basically the old files running through an emulator.
Yeah, and to be honest, I didn't really like the presentation of the Steam collection that much. Does the good old games one? It kind of just brings up this menu, and you really do feel like you're just playing like a cheap compilation that nothing was really done to. Like,
yeah, it's very cheap. Yeah, the GOG one has a nice little package. It's got a little setup thing going on that, it's proper menus and all the extras. I pretty much always recommend them if you're talking about trying to play older PC games. Steam has the sales, but the GOG versions are going to usually get you a better copy that's been fixed and patched. And
I've kind of been looking into GOG more
I switched over
now.
to them a little bit ago because I like to put my DRM versions on a flash drive. Then I can, like I did with the Ease games, I imported the Japanese, like the complete, because they came out physically in Japan, the Ease games, and I imported those and I just put each game on a flash drive and put them inside those boxes, so I can have them like on my shelf, I guess.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I can't take this axe. I don't get it. I don't know why.
Yeah, the axe is not. You can't take the axe. Is this the home with the little family inside?
Yeah, with the fiddle.
Yeah, the fiddle. You have to give them something to take their fiddle, or something like that. It seems like it's a never-ending soup or something. I don't recall. Like, you have to fill their bowl with food. I don't remember where we get the food, though.
It says they're impoverished, so I assume that they're hungry.
Yeah, there's some way to give them food, but it's got to be like there's an infinite food that you can give them, but it's not cheese.
Okay, or a walnut. But those might be ingredients for it.
Is there somebody drowning? Is that you?
Yeah,
Did you drown?
I went down,
Oh,
but
no.
no, you can swim now.
Oh, you just like went down the screen and then you were suddenly
I was like in
the
it.
water.
Thankfully, this one's a little more forgiving. If you do that on the original PC Junior one, you drown instantly.
It's like it's so cheap.
Yeah, it's like the king of deaths.
Yeah.
Oh, there's another troll.
Yeah, there's one on each side of the bridge. It's probably the same one, I'm guessing. Okay, so there's the bucket. I don't know if I need to put. Do I have to put something in the bucket? Fill the bucket.
You do need the bucket. That'll be for when you go down the well.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I think you put the bucket on the well, and then you can like ride in it. I think maybe.
Do I have to do that now?
Or
I can't get the bucket.
no, I'm pretty sure you can like get in bucket.
Yeah, there's a way to. The timing of everything is eluding me here. Because there's certain things you have to do in certain
I'm
sequence.
pretty sure you can get into it. Is that like where you get to the dragon? Like at the bottom of the well? There's like a cave at the bottom of the well?
Do I want to
Yeah,
take
at the bottom of the well, typically there is a way. The condor doesn't come into play until much later on.
Okay, so I should not get on it right now. Won't even let
Nah,
me.
probably not.
I'm curious how easy it is to climb the beanstalk
Didn't you fall like a million times?
in this version, because the beanstalk was such a pain on the version I played. I fell like
You
35.
you saved like every pixel you moved or something, like every like.
Yeah.
I did by the time I finished it. Yeah, it was ridiculous.
All right, well, I'm going back to the gingerbread house. I don't know how to get back there now. I like the troll though. The troll looks pretty great.
Yeah, if we can get back to the gingerbread house, if you hang around in her like the bedroom long enough, the witch will come in there and she'll like start trying to cook, and you can push her into the oven and kill her. And there's some things to do.
Can you hide? I wonder.
I don't. Not exactly hiding. Maybe.
Because there's one time where she was like already at the thing. I was just kind of messing around with it before. I don't remember. I don't know how to get back to her house though.
So, what would you say are probably your favorite PC adventure games?
The witch is
Yeah, I
standing
don't
near
know.
the
I mean,
stove.
not
She's making the fire hotter. Can I push her?
Oh, she is.
I'm gonna do it. Push.
Oh, she's making
Witch.
the fire. Yeah,
I
push her
barely
in
pushed the
there.
wood into the oven and destroyed her. I've destroyed her.
You destroy the witch.
Yeah, she's gone. Is that it? She's just like now she's just gone.
Yeah, she just like turns into a blob of nothing.
And then, like that's the whole story arc. There's like no, there's, like
I
nothing.
think that's
Like,
about it.
you don't even
that's
get
like
her. You
Big
don't even get
Brother.
anything from her or anything.
You need to like save that password for sure.
Yeah.
I think like the best thing that could happen this stream is if you like never have to reload your password. Like that should be your goal for the stream.
Okay.
That would be nice.
But even if you don't finish.
Okay. Well, I mean, it's. Let's see what happens.
I think that'd be a good goal for a 2-hour stream.
Yeah. Well, let's see what happens. I mean, if I. Like, I know that there's the. Like, you can move a rock and it, like, lands on top of you and you automatically die. You push the rock. But I already pushed it. I learned my lesson before. I don't know where I'm going. There's a dangerous wolf.
One of my my next like planned adventure game. I'm planning to stream on the Backloggery Phantasmagoria 2 this year, because I think it was 2 Octobers ago that we streamed Phantasmagoria 1, which was pretty fun. I definitely like the whole FMV adventure game thing, and I'm not as well versed in that as I would like. Or wait a second, was it Phantasmagoria 2 I said I would play this year, or was it Seventh Guest? I forget.
Either one would be pretty delightfully cheesy.
I actually got this gigantic
Ooh, what's this?
I got this gigantic I got this big bag of old PC game stuff from my uncle a few months ago, and there was this huge Seventh Guest player's guide in it.
I've got that one. It's pretty beefy.
Yeah, there's some those old PC games have some big books.
Yeah. Clint, have you had a chance to play Abduction yet?
I have not. Oh. To be honest, that's one type of thing that I've never really been into at all, is like the Myst and anything Myst-like.
Oh, okay.
So Abductions isn't necessarily, it doesn't have my attention so much.
So you probably didn't try out like The Witness or whatever was supposed to be kind of.
I tried The Witness and I really disliked it. So I kind of thought that some of the earlier puzzles were interesting in sort of a logic kind of way. I liked some of the the line perspective puzzles where you were matching up shadows on top of the puzzle physically with the trees and stuff. I thought that was neat, but I mean, I played it for a couple hours and that was it.
Yeah, I'm curious about. I'll try it sometime.
It's a very pretty game.
Myst is like a series that's like
You nibble at the candy house. Just a nibble. Just a nibble.
Yeah, just a nibble, just the tip.
That's it. There's nothing else I can do there, I guess.
you don't get
That's all you
anything.
can do. Like, that's what I was saying when you could eat the house. You can just nibble at
Just-
it. There's parts of it that you can just candy.
It's a whole house made out of it. And just I just want to try it. All right. Let's see what we got here.
Now I do want to try Abduction when it comes out to VR. They're supposedly going to be.
Oh
releasing
yeah.
VR version. I can get behind that. I mean, if it's in VR, I'll play anything. I don't care.
Yeah, we
I'm all
just
these
tried
days.
VR for the first time, like when we were.
Oh, which system did you try?
What did we?
It was the
HTC.
Vive.
Yeah,
When we
HTC
went
one.
to when we went to limited run games, they have that like they've got a wing on the other side of the building that is their development studio, like their in-house development is called Mighty Rabbit, and then limited run is kind of an offshoot of that.
All right.
And we played one of the developers when we were getting ready to leave was just like, hey, have you guys had a chance to try the Vive yet? And we're like, no, I had like for 10 seconds tried like a very early Oculus prototype at Too Many Games, and I wasn't super impressed. It wasn't like a very good demo. I think it was just something that like it was like a university was putting it on, and I think they just had like some sort of space demo, and you were just like looking around in space, and it wasn't very good. But yeah, it was cool. We played Job Simulator, and it was. It was cool to see that, that experience didn't make me sick or anything. But then I guess the Vive is kind of the premium in terms of, interacting with a 3D space. So it's hard to say whether, something like I would like a chance to try like PlayStation VR before I buy it, because that's going to be a different experience where, you're probably mostly going to be sitting down and where you would normally play games, but you're not going to be moving around.
Yeah, I'm curious about the PlayStation VR. I mean, I've got and have tried pretty much all of the other headsets at this point, and I've got a Vive and the Rift and the Gear and all these, like some few Chinese ones. They're really interesting what they're all trying to do, just a little bit differently. And I know PlayStation VR has a pretty there's some exclusives that seem pretty interesting.
Oh,
with
yeah.
that, but that's probably the biggest thing that has me intrigued. I'm curious how that's going to work as far as head tracking, and if that's going to prevent nausea enough to make it a good experience.
Yeah, like I heard that the
Because-
Resident Evil 7 demo at E3 was
I can't imagine that
a bit
possibly going to-
nauseating.
Yeah, any first-person shooter that is played with a controller where you're sitting has made me sick as a dog in like 10 seconds.
Wow.
And it just doesn't. I mean, even on the Vive, if you're not standing up and moving around with it, or if you're not using the teleporting ability that a lot of games have, where you're not moving with a controller, but you're pointing and teleporting to where you need to go.
Yeah, almost like an adventure game.
In a way, yeah, you're just sort of pointing and clicking, and it sort of fades out and fades in really quick, fades to black, fades out, and it makes it to where it's sort of a stopgap. I don't think they've really figured out locomotion.
Yeah, conceptually that sounds disappointing to me, but I've heard numerous people say that it works out a lot better than you would think.
A lot better than the alternative of being sick, but it's still not ideal.
Yeah.
I think that there's some games on the PSVR that is going to be really interesting. The X-Wing one, for instance, from the Star Wars Battlefront spin-off thing, and a couple others that they have where it makes sense. You're kind of in a sit-down cockpit.
If you're in a so your perspective is if you're in a vehicle, it's okay.
If the vehicle controls like a vehicle and you're physically not moving, but you're in a space that feels like it's not moving and the world around you is moving, it's like the difference between being a driver in a car and being in the back seat of a car. For me anyway, because I get car sick.
I do too. If I'm in the back
sense.
seat, I can't do it.
I that reminds me. I read about
I feel like really quick. I feel like I have enough stuff for like a soup. I have a carrot, walnut, bowl, and cheese.
No, you have the bowl. The carrot for sure you can take to the goat and feed the goat. The goat will follow you around.
Okay, what do I do with the goat then once it follows me?
I don't remember.
I think the goat goes to one of the bridge trolls, which is going to get you to Rumpelstiltskin.
Okay. Let's do that then.
Yeah.
But what was I saying? VR. Oh
about
yeah.
vehicles and stuff.
That reminds me. This was like a year or two ago. I want to say that I read about this, where some people did this experiment where they put at the bottom of your field of view in a VR experience, a nose, like, you know, a first person nose. And it significantly reduced people feeling nauseated when that was there. And when they later asked them if they saw it, they would say no, they had no idea it was there. But it was just something there in their subconscious that was like grounding them in that space.
So they had no idea that it was there. You know, I could
just
see
got a
that
spell
working.
from the fairy godmother. I don't know what the spell is.
Oh, the fairy godmother spell. Yeah, you need that. I don't remember what for, but you do.
Well,
I think it's something that happens that...
I'm like stuck. She's like, I can't move. She's like, has me trapped. I don't know what's going on.
That's weird.
She gave you a spell though, right?
Yeah.
You have a spell?
Yeah, I can get the password, but I can't break free. She's like,
just
it's
can't
glitching.
stop dancing.
I can't get out of here.
Yeah, that's
Tell
definitely not
fairy
supposed to happen.
godmother.
Come on, fly away. I think it's just because she's. There we go. There we go. Okay. Oh. We got something going on. Oh. There it goes.
Okay. Jeez, what the heck was she doing to you?
I don't know.
No. Oh no!
Whoa. Wow.
You've entered the trippy fairy godmother world.
Oh, I fell in the water, and there it looks like the alligators. Let's see if I took the password, so that doesn't count. That one doesn't count.
Like you took drugs.
That's the count. I don't know.
Oh, at least it. Let me just. All right, let's see what this password is. I took it down before. Oh, whoops. I don't need that to be the full screen here. All right. See, this is really obnoxious. You got to do this every time, and the password is certainly not short.
That is such a long password. Is it really necessary? There's only like 20 scenes in this whole game.
Yeah, that's like worse than Xanadu.
Oh, that's pretty bad.
It looks like there's a lot of A's though.
But yeah, about the nose like VR thing, I could almost see that making sense because I've noticed when I've played, there was one demo.
You've nosed.
I totally knows.
Never mind.
Knows what's going on here. That yeah, there's like one. It was scuba gear on, you know, and sort of a mask.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And so moving around underwater, it was fine because I had like like it looked like I had a
Interesting.
mask.
Did you try playing that laying down, like in a position where you would be like swimming forward?
You know, I haven't tried that. I have played some VR games laying down, and that has mostly been a bad time. But
that's interesting because like that's how I play Virtual Boy, which is not really VR because you're not like looking through the character's perspective. But
like you're also not moving your head around to move.
Right. But yeah, it's funny because I play Virtual Boy like laying down and like I let the headset like fall into my face. And that's like so much more comfortable than like trying to lean into it. But yeah, that's interesting. So that space around you, that's that is an interesting concept. And
it's just an extra trickery of the brain, I guess. And I've seen some people experiment with putting sort of a mask or a headpiece or something on you in a first-person game. It still doesn't work so much when you're moving too much out of sync with your body. That throws your equilibrium off. But to a degree, it does help.
So do they generally disable artificial head bobbing in VR games?
Every single game I've ever seen does, yes.
Yeah.
Because your head is going to bob for real. So no reason to have that.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting. Like, I think Abduction is like a perfect fit for it though, because it does have like the modern style free movement controls, but it's also got like a retro style, point and click. So it's like it's perfect for that teleportation concept.
Yeah, it seems like it should be. So Hopefully it'll be good.
I mean, I don't realistically see myself having PC-based VR anytime soon. But if PlayStation
this
VR
isn't
kind of
good.
pans out, I would like to get into it. It's just kind of a matter of affording it.
So the goat, I gave the goat the carrot. We left, and I went to the next screen. The goat is gone, and the goat is not respawning. Or something. I don't know.
There could be something different with the Master System goat. Maybe he goes to the troll by himself.
Maybe.
Instead of
Yeah, maybe.
Or maybe he just left. He's like, oh, good, carrot and freedom. I don't care.
I remember being paranoid. Like every time I left the goat pen, I like closed the gate just to be sure.
Mm.
Well, let's see what happens. I don't know. Maybe I am playing this on a EverDrive, so it could possibly be screwing something up. I don't even know. If it breaks, then we'll play Shadow of the Beast, a remake. Jeez, I keep on. At least it has a swim command. I mean, I don't know.
So, what would you say is your favorite VR system, for lack of a better word, so far?
I mean, so far it's been the Vive.
So you've got like a dedicated space for
it. Yeah, I have like it's like an 8-foot by 8-foot square space. Mm-hmm. It's not as big as I would like, but it's enough. I mean, because it requires a couple feet smaller than that at the very minimum. So yeah, it'll play it, but I'm really curious to try out the Rift's touch controls once they come out with that.
Well, what's that?
Publicly anyway. It's supposed to sort of mimic what the Vive does with its own controller, so you can stand up and move around, and it captures your hand movements.
Oh, okay. So it's not like touching a touch screen. It's just those little clicky controllers you hold in your hands and reach around.
Right. It's supposed to be a little more, I don't know, believable or something, because I really don't know. I haven't tried them out yet, but it's supposed to have more touch-sensitive things for your fingers and grip and things like that. That it feels more like you're picking up and grabbing things. So I don't know. It seems like it's a pretty close thing to what the Vive does already. So I don't know if it'll be any better.
But at least it'll bring it up on more even ground.
Yeah, definitely. Because as of now, the Vive has a pretty clear advantage, in my opinion, because it'll do all the sit-down stuff that the Rift will, but the Vive also has the, walking around room scale motion control stuff too, which it adds a whole lot, especially in something like Job Simulator, where you can, get it up.
Yeah, you're just like in this little space. It was a good demo game for VR, for our first like real VR experience. But would you say, from what I've heard, that the Oculus might beat the Vive just in terms of the optics quality, the screen quality?
I haven't seen enough of a difference personally for me to say which one wins in that regard. I do think that the Oculus has, it's a different type of lens, for one thing. Looking through a Vive, you almost have this there's a circular effect that you see, which is supposed to, it's minimizing chromatic aberration, which is nice, but it also makes some things a little blurrier if you're not looking straight ahead with your eyes. And so you end up with this sort of a clear spot in the middle of the lenses, but if you look around with your eyeballs, you start seeing a little bit of blurriness, more so than you see with the Rift. So
yeah, I don't
there's
remember
some minor
if I
differences.
Did that. I mean, I probably did, just because it would probably be natural to.
It is natural too. You kind of have to train your brain to not move your eyes, and you have to move your head like your head is on a tripod almost.
Yeah. I definitely I didn't even think about it when I was.
Yeah.
You don't think about it because you get used to it quickly, but it's there once you compare them side by side and play them for hours.
Yeah, I thought the Vive was easy to get used to quickly. The thing that surprised me at first when I first put it on my head was I thought, wow, I can see the pixels. You know, you've got that screen door effect going on. And I guess I was under the impression that VR had, by the time it actually really hit for real, had reached the point where you weren't really seeing the pixels super clearly like that. But then once you get immersed in it after a minute, you don't even really think about it anymore because you're just kind of surrounded by this world that you're just like looking around in.
Yeah, that's definitely a thing. I think they said they would have to reach like dual 8K resolution to get rid of that effect. There's just no way that's going to happen for a long time.
Yeah.
Oh, sweet, you get the beanstalk.
It's there, but I can't climb it or anything.
That's kind of weird.
You didn't have to grow it? I always thought you had to grow it too.
Grow it? I thought you had to grow it.
Yeah.
I thought you did too. I'm so confused because typically you can't even get the beanstalk without getting the beans from Rumpelstiltskin.
Well, the goat is gone. I don't know.
The goat's gone.
Maybe this one just skips that whole thing. It's just like, you got the goat, you got the beans.
Your password again if you want.
Yeah, at least I have it. But
version.
Oh, there's a 4-leaf clover here. It looks like. I bet I can get that. Yeah.
These trees remind me of the trees in world-class leaderboard golf. I'm getting a very like golf game vibe.
I could see that.
They're nice. They're nice enough looking trees.
They are, but they have that sort of mirrored effect going on where this just mirrored each side, and it reminds me of that so much.
Yeah.
Let's see.
It is interesting thinking like how old golf games kind of draw the world, you know, like, you know, even, you know, I would think more of NES golf, even though I don't have a ton of experience with that, but like it's kind of cool seeing like, you know, your ball can land anywhere on this overhead map, and then they have to put your character wherever the ball lands, and it can land anywhere on that map. But then they have to like place the trees. It's like almost like drawing a scene that they have no idea if that particular angle is ever going to be drawn. But the way that it places objects has to be advanced enough to account for that, and I think that's interesting.
Do I have to drop anything in the hole?
The technicalities. The what?
The hole underneath the rock.
The hole? I think there's a dagger that you get from the hole.
How do I get down there?
So the magic spell just like protects you from enemies? Like you just
I don't know what it's doing. It just says the magic spell protects you.
Can you look at the hole? Look at hole.
You see a dagger in the hole. Oh, get dagger.
Yeah,
you take the shining dagger.
Definitely need that.
What's funny is that you can just grab it out of there, but if you walk towards it, you can fall down there and die. So
does it add objects to your secondary to your nouns list after you look at it? So you look at hole, you see dagger. Dagger wasn't there before, but now it is.
Right.
In fact, I think that tree that you just passed to the left of the carrot garden, you can look at and go up there and get something.
Oh yeah. You can climb a tree.
There's a tree. There's a big tree that you climb.
Isn't there like a little tree house or something up there?
It's a little nest, and yeah.
Well,
I'm not sure if it's that tree, but it's something that looks kind of like it. Like, you know, you would climb the tree and go up and basically end up falling off the limbs, and you die a bunch. And...
Yeah, I can't remember if that was this game or another game, but it might have been this one.
Well,
what do I do with the dagger? The original.
Do we know what we do with the dagger?
Just stab everyone. Just kill the world.
Everyone.
I actually played a few months ago Police Quest, the first Police Quest.
Oh man, that is such a particular game. If you don't do everything just right.
Yeah, it's
all
funny.
The procedures.
It's very by the books. Like if you have to like do this little inspection of your car every time you leave the station. You have to like walk all the way around your car, because if you get in your car without doing that, then your car will break down like as soon as you leave the parking lot.
Yeah, I like to call that one procedure quest. You're just following procedures. Your quest is to follow every procedure perfectly.
It's funny because, like, you know, on one hand, it's kind of annoying, but on the other hand, it's like I almost feel like it's like this very dry joke.
Kind of is, and you know, if you want something else that's it's made by the same exact people, and you know, the same team as Police Quest, it was called Codename Iceman.
Okay.
And that
sounds
is
awesome.
you play like a spy, and you're going around the world, and like you get in a submarine and you do, but it's exactly the same thing. And if you don't follow every procedure perfectly, you will fail in the most spectacular ways, like accidentally start a nuclear war and like the Cold War, and like it's just horrible things happen for doing the tiniest thing.
If you fall in the moat, like you can't swim out of it. It's like you fall in, there is no hope.
The crocs eat you.
Yeah.
Yes, they will
it's
eat
crocodiles. So. But yeah, it's funny because, you know, obviously the original physical version would have come with the procedures book. You know, I like the idea of like the game kind of being taken outside the game. You know, the physical. You know, this came up in our interview with Rand Miller that we did last year. You know, he was talking about how, you know, when you write your own journal for the game or whatever, like, you know, it kind of becomes a part of the real world. It's not just bits, it's atoms too. So it is kind of cool to think, you know, like it is like like I say, it's almost like the Police Quest is almost like this one big long dry joke of, you know, having to follow procedure. It was an interesting game. I did enjoy it. But it is so funny how particular it is. I want to say, I heard that it was. I want to say I heard it was actually written by like a retired police officer. Are you familiar with that story?
The first three of them, yeah, they were written by or produced by Jim Walls.
Yeah.
Who was he retired? He was, you know, a California police officer, and he's done, you know, a whole bunch of different things, I guess, on his police career. The later ones too were also done by Daryl F. Gates, who is really infamous for being like the LA police chief who was against like NWA and other groups like that back in the day.
Really?
Like, you know, yeah, like the musicians. And so, yeah, he made like King's Quest 4 through 6, or Police Quest 4 through 6, and then 1 through 3 were done by Jim Walls, who has an amazing mustache. So
it's you know, wow, there's 6 Police Quests?
there's 6 of them, and there's 4 spin-offs, this Police Quest SWAT series. So there's actually 10 Police Quest games.
There's more Police Quests than King's Quest? That's I did
There
not
is.
realize that.
It was one of their most popular series, yeah.
I had not realized it.
Where
went
does
that
Space
far.
Quest
Like,
fit in? I don't know.
I mean, there's 6 space quests, so I mean they fit in there too. But yeah, each one of the Quest series games, they were all made by individual teams, even though they were all Sierra. They feel quite different in their own ways. Space Quest is awesome, and it's, you know, use of comedy and Star Trek and Star Wars references like constantly. So if you're like a Trek fan or Star Wars or just sci-fi in general.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
I'm in the tree. There's an egg up here.
This is the tree.
The
Yes.
tree. You see a golden egg.
Gotta try and get that golden egg because we need it for something. That is a much larger branch than on the PC version. Holy crap!
that looks so easy.
Probably doesn't have the screaming when you fall, though. Isn't that what it does? It's like
Oh, the scream is in King's Quest 5.
Oh, okay.
It is the best scream in all of gaming.
That's seriously like a 12-foot wide branch. That's amazing.
It's like it's bigger than the trunk of the tree.
It is. That's nice of them, but you can tell this definitely wasn't developed by the same people. They would not have been nice at all. It would have been like 2 pixels wide if it were actual Sierra crew.
Okay, so now I have the egg. I have the dagger, and since I died, I loaded my same save game, and there's the goat, but I don't know if I can get
Oh,
the
you
goat to
found the
follow.
goat?
No, the goat is back because I
Okay.
fell in the
The
moat.
goat is back.
Okay.
Well, I mean, I know for sure that you show the goat the carrot, and it's supposed to.
Oh, okay. If you show it, I was giving it.
Okay, yes,
Oh, it had no
show it,
reason.
don't give it.
It
So
Now
it's
had
like
the
a
goat
reason.
follows you.
All
All
right.
right.
Gotta tease that goat with that carrot. I guess last time it was in an unwinnable state anyway. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
whoops.
Now, are you
We're
playing
making some
this on a
progress.
Master System or with a power-based converter?
I am playing this on a Master System with a Genesis controller because I hate the D-pad of the Genesis or the Master System.
I for some reason am having trouble with my power-based mini FM.
Oh wait, goats hate trolls. The goat sees the troll, charges him, and butts him off the bridge. Then the goat disappears.
Exactly.
The goat disappears,
Thanks, buddy.
Yeah, the exact opposite.
never to be seen again.
Okay. See, when you start making some progress, it's like a really good feeling, and it gets you really into it. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's such a freaking struggle to even get to that point.
There is a crotchety old gnome. Guess his name, and he will give you a gift. You say it's Rumpelstiltskin?
Yes, this is the worst puzzle in the game, just about. At least if it's the same one.
Do we know what his name is?
I mean, it's Rumpelstiltskin, I assume, but do you have to? Yeah, you presumably have to learn it through some means.
Oh my word. Okay, so if this is the same as the PC one, you would think that Rumpelstiltskin, like there's a clue back at the witch's shack.
So sometimes you have to
where we
think backwards. Is what the
Sometimes you have to think backwards. And so you think that it's going to be Rumpelstiltskin backwards, but it isn't. It's literally the entire alphabet backwards.
In the PC version, really?
Okay, so
Yeah,
I just
so
got
you
to
have
put the
to think
whole
about-
alphabet backwards.
I'm
I
not
don't remember
entirely
that.
sure in this version because in the original PC one, they changed it for the VGA one because it was too
Oh.
hard.
Well, I
So
can't put
you
in.
would
I
think
can't.
that-
I can't put in the whole alphabet.
Yeah, for I mean, it's not the whole alphabet backwards. It's like you have to think about the whole, at least in the original puzzle. So A becomes Z, B becomes Y, C becomes X, D becomes W. It's a code.
Oh,
I
so
don't
you have
know-
to enter Rumpelstiltskin with a backwards library, or backwards
Yes, with a
oh
backward
my
alphabet.
Gosh.
So Rumpelstiltskin backwards with a backwards alphabet becomes IFNKOV, something like that. I don't know if it's the same in this one though, because they might have changed it.
Somebody put it in the chat.
Somebody posted
I'm sure somebody has
Rumpelstiltskin backwards, but I don't know if that's going to be the solution or not.
Yes, one person like Dr. Steve
If I-
Brule has the correct one for the old school answer,
Okay,
which
so-
is
Wow.
So it's probably
IFNKOV.
what this is going to be. I mean, I feel bad we didn't. I
I'm
didn't pick,
assuming.
I don't remember what the VGA version's
N-
answer was.
F.
The VGA one is literally Rumpelstiltskin backwards, which is it's like Nick Stilletselpmore.
And that actually almost sounds like a name.
Right. Yeah.
Oh,
But
it's
the
it's
back-
composed to that original version one.
Yeah.
A
If Nakov Grogna Hipworm or something.
G Grog.
I'm curious if they kept the original answer for this one.
HPRM. H.
Blade Boy, I'm pretty sure the PS2 Fat.
Oh, it can't
supports
be. There's
it.
it's one character short.
Huh. I'm pretty sure the PS2 Fat supports regular size hard drives because I mean that's what comes with Final Fantasy. Comes with an IDE Fat hard drive. That's what Final Fantasy 11 comes with.
Yeah, that is one character short, isn't it?
Yeah, I can't put in any more. Should I try the other one?
And F. I mean, it's going to be the same number of letters either way.
I mean, I guess I could just look it up.
Yeah, I'm kind of looking it up here. I'm wondering what's different with the Master System one, if there's something different going on.
Yeah, I'm not worried about it. I beat it legit 20 years ago. 25 years ago, probably.
You rented it or borrowed it from a friend?
Borrowed it from a friend who had played the PC version at his friend's house. And then a friend of mine got the Master System version, and we stayed home sick from school and played through it the whole day.
You want to try the 2015 version of King's Quest? Do you mean the new episodic series? I don't think there was a new version of this actual game released. I have heard that the new episodic series is pretty good so far. I don't think it's finished, if I'm not mistaken, unless I am.
There's a few episodes of it, and they're quite good actually.
I've
been impressed with them so far.
It's a reboot, right?
It is a reboot,
maybe?
yeah. Yeah, it's a total reimagining of most of the original games.
Isn't like King Graham like really old and he's like telling the stories of his past or something?
Yeah, but the stories take place sort of in between each of the games that were released in the past. So the very first episode of the new King's Quest shows how Graham became a knight in the first place. And, in this one, the one that you're playing on the Master System, Graham's already a knight of Daventry. So it actually shows how he became that. And then so in part 2, it's like in between King's Quests 1 and 2. It sort of takes place in between. It fills in the gaps, more or less. So it gives them freedom to happen in the same world without stepping on anyone's toes.
That's pretty cool.
It's interesting.
You guys have an answer for the name?
Yeah, I'm still looking for the answer.
I mean, maybe you should just wander around a little more if there's any more places you haven't been past the bridge.
No, well, yeah. Yeah, oddly enough, the Master System walkthrough that I see doesn't even list the actual name.
I don't know what just happened. I missed what he said. Maybe I can leave the screen and see what happens. He's gone. Come on.
What?
It said something. I hit the button too quick to see what it said.
Oh, let me see if I can catch it. Or maybe I didn't. Oh, no.
Well,
I don't think I saw.
I think you get like 3 chances to guess his name. I don't know if you walk off the screen a few times, if it'll just not. Oh, man.
It's brutal, but, once you know everything.
Parker Brothers.
It would be fine if you didn't have to put in the password every time.
But I think it's interesting how spread out it seems that the new King's Quest series has been. Like, I guess we've kind of got used to the whole Telltale style where, episodic games release, episodes released relatively close together. And King's Quest doesn't seem to be that way at all. They're really taking their time, which is good. But I'm not going to bother with it until they're all out.
I wasn't planning to bother with it until they were all out, but then I saw how long they were taking, and I'm like, and I almost forget
We're
about
getting
it by
a
the
little
time
bit
the
of
new part comes
static
out.
from you. I don't know if it's your microphone.
From me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Just start all of a sudden.
Yeah. It's not like you bumped your microphone before it happened. Try talking now. It sounds like it might be all right.
Yeah, how's that?
Okay, now it's fine.
Oh, there we go. It's good.
Yeah, it's replugged it in.
All right. So I've been kind of following your 486 build. I love the wood grain case. We're all fans of wood grain. It seems like.
Oh yeah.
You can't not be fans of wood grain and be into the stuff that we are.
That's true.
It goes hand in hand. Everything from wood paneled walls to wood grain on consoles. Just everywhere. It's just you gotta have the brown all around.
Because I'm very envious of the portion of the wall that Try put up in his shooting room, and I noticed that if you notice all of our thumbnails are shot against that now. Always
Well,
like,
when I shoot the thumbnail anyway.
yeah.
Well, it's like I've actually. I mean, I used to shoot like a lot of my consoles and stuff like in their environment, but now I find it's just so much easier. I've got that table right there that I set stuff on, and it's just it's so much easier. Just like unplug the console, bring it up there, set it there, and I can get any angle I want, and I've got that nice background, and it's not necessarily in its environment. Sometimes I'll shoot in its environment when it makes sense to do so, but it's usually just kind of quicker for me to, just make that my set.
Yeah, that's something I've been wanting to do for a while. I've been getting some pieces together, and I want to do the wood paneled walls and everything because it's what I had as a kid. It's I mean, it's just it goes directly with it. So yeah, it's a great look for that set you've got going on.
Yeah, I enjoy it. I've got a couple of wood panel TVs as well, but I don't really get to use them as often. One of them kind of smells a little funny once it's been on for a bit, so I'm reluctant to use it much. I think it's like burning some dust or something. I don't know.
Yeah, a lot of them tend to get that sort of mixture of dust and plastic just heating up in a scary way.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I just recently got this, one of those console TVs that sits on the floor, the giant wooden case and everything.
Oh yeah.
Right.
So it's an old Zenith set from 1986. It's wonderful. It's so huge.
My grandma has one. I think it's an RCA or maybe I forget what it is, but it hasn't worked for years, but she's still got it. Just kind of like it's it's furniture. I mean, she just sets stuff on top.
If someone in the chat can find out what I'm supposed to be telling this guy. Oh, wait, you have somebody else here. I see. Is that the one I put in?
Here's the answer that I see. I just pasted it into the chat. I don't know.
And is it an I or an F?
That is an I.
Okay. I just wasn't sure because everything else is in lowercase.
You mean IRL?
IF. And
man, what a pain to do this with a controller.
Yeah.
Talking about old TVs, I at some point ran across on the internet that there's some serious Curtis Mathes fandom out there.
Really?
like there are forums and YouTube stuff of people tracking down old Curtis Mathes, the big furniture style TVs.
I got the magic beans.
All kinds of stuff. Oh, you did it.
Nice.
Okay, so do I just go to the beanstalk and that's this whole end of the section of the game, you think?
Sort of, yeah. You can plant the
beanstalk.
beans.
Yeah, the beanstalk is kind of getting later game, which would be crazy.
Yeah, I mean, we don't have everything we need, but we can try it anyway. I mean, why not?
Yeah, I feel like you gotta be missing something.
Well, we still haven't done anything for that family with the.
Yeah.
How do I
or
make
gone
it?
down the well.
Yeah, I don't even know how I make the food though, because I have the egg and everything. What do I do with the egg? Does that make the soup? You think?
Not
Do I
entirely
make
sure.
the soup at the gingerbread house? Because there's a fire here, but no.
Hey, what did it say about the witch? Just that she's gone or something?
No, I killed her. She's
I know.
dead. Let's see here. I mean, I would assume that I would make the soup over the fire, right, with the bowl.
Is this the only place you could do it?
I don't know. Oh,
You don't just make soup in a bowl.
I know. Thought there'd be a cauldron or something there.
I just can't remember. It's been several years.
Yeah, I know.
There's a
There's
cave
something
too.
to do. Yeah, the cave comes into play later on.
What does the wizard do?
It's just in the way, I think.
I
Like
I
the
do
wolf.
like
The wolf
how
is just sort of in the way too.
yeah I do like how so much of King's Quest 3 is, kind of learning kind of secretly learning magic, and you have to kind of beat the wizard,
Yeah.
your slave master. And it's interesting. I want to say it's King's Quest 6 that kind of ties together, kind of brings the plot of 3 back into it later on. Doesn't the final area from 3 come back later in one of the other games? I want to say
It might. I haven't played
Maybe.
much of 3. So as far as filling that bowl up, it looks like we have to get some sort of a magical thing in order to fill the bowl. We say it with magic.
Okay.
So I don't know if we have that yet. Okay, so we've got the egg, we've got the... Have we gotten pebbles anywhere? There were pebbles to get somewhere.
No, I have a walnut.
Walnut.
There's the beanstalk is right here. Do I have to... If I plant the... Let's see if I can plant.
That's weird that the beanstalk is already there. I don't know.
Yeah, that is so weird. Or if you can get
Well,
rid
I'm
of
climbing
it.
it. I'm going to see what happens if I just climb out what's here. I'm just climbing
Yeah,
Oh,
it.
you're
climb it.
climbing it?
I'm just doing it.
You can't
go
climb
up
a
there.
beanstalk without having beans,
Yeah.
Now you are climbing.
Oh,
I'm on the clouds now.
this looks
So
so
very
much
easy.
easier than the PC version.
Super easy beanstalk. Very straight. You know what? I mean, you're up here without the pebbles, but
Let's see what
just
happens. Some of the bushes are golden up here.
Because if I recall, there's a giant up here that will kill you. Or
Yeah. Yeah.
But you need the pebbles.
something.
There's
I
a
think you just
giant.
throw
Look at the
them.
giant. He's like, he's walking backwards. He only has 2 frames of animation, so he moves backwards to even mirror it. He's just moon walking towards me.
It's so weird that he's facing the right.
I know.
It's a moonwalking giant.
Oh man. So should I
He
go?
kinda looks like-
Where do I
He
get
kind
the
of looks
pebbles?
like Peter Jackson.
I slipped off the clouds.
Uh-oh.
That's all right. I can always load it. I'm not starting anything else. I'm just gonna keep on going. At this point, it's not worth Just gotta see what we can do. I don't know. It's not as good as I remember it being, but I think it's still pretty fun.
I mean, I think it looks like a decent version. I mean, the thing about games like this, back then, at least for me, you had this expectation of a game taking weeks and months and maybe more to beat. And now we're have this impatience of if you don't figure it out right away, you gotta be looking it up or you're frustrated. But the context of the times when you were originally playing games like this, people didn't expect to beat it in a night.
Right.
No, I mean they were obtuse for a reason. They cost $60-$70, and
Yeah.
they were long games because they would be just so hard to figure out. This one especially.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we're pretty good at for the most part, not using FAQs unless we absolutely have to.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some people
yeah.
who just go straight for it the second they get stuck.
Yeah, I mean, as you outlined in your Phantasy Star 2 video, that looking at that, you realize it kind of ruined the game for you in a lot of ways. And
All right, this elf just appeared. Can I? Is the elf bad? Do you think?
Probably.
I'm gonna try and talk to. See what happens. Look at the
I
elf.
mean, I think the elf, you have to talk to him to get like a ring or something.
Oh, talk to elf. The elf responds to your friendliness and gives you a magic ring, which will make you
Oh.
invisible once only.
What does it do?
Makes
You
you
don't know?
invisible.
Oh.
Yeah, it's the one ring, basically.
Yeah. So where do I find the pebbles then?
The pebbles are kind
In
of
the well?
near the beginning. I think there's like at one point where there's sort of a creek, or at least in the original one there was a creek. It seems like it was sort of north of the castle or something. I'm not really sure where it would be on this one.
All right.
But yeah, they're just sort of like near a creek. So that's, I've seen some lakes and stuff, but
Because there's this cave right here, but I can't move this boulder yet.
yeah.
For the rock. You see nothing special. It's just a rock.
How do you move that? Or do you? Is that an exit? I feel like it might be an exit.
Oh, maybe. That would make sense.
Like, could that be like the exit from like where you face the dragon? I don't even remember what you do with the dragon.
I know the dragon has to be stabbed with that dagger. It's pretty sad and violent. But yeah, I don't remember about that cave in the rock. That might be an exit for all I know. In fact, I think when you go down to the well at the bottom of the well, you get out of the water, and that's the dragon's area. There's a magic mirror, and I think maybe that rock that you're seeing in the cave is the exit.
Yeah, I feel like it could be.
Okay, let's see here. I'm just looking for like the pebbles. I don't see them.
This is turning into like a Fruity Pebbles commercial, and like
Yeah.
Barney's gonna come out anywhere. Look at your pebbles, Fred.
Tried to find a way to watch the Flintstones recently to like see if my daughter would like it, but I could like find no place to watch them. I'm surprised they're not like on Amazon or like Amazon Prime, like or Netflix or anything.
It's probably on one of those like weird bootleg services you see on Roku. It's like cartoon time,
Yeah.
like those things.
Yeah.
I don't even know how those exist, but
Yeah.
it kind of looked like you saw a creek here.
Yeah.
Can you just look creek?
From what I remember, they're kind of obvious, like just little, different colored dots on the ground.
Yeah, but they might not.
Might
they
not be here.
Not be able to show them here.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe right here. Like, you think it'd be right here? No. I'm afraid to get too close to the water.
Yeah, I definitely don't want to fall in.
I mean, I wouldn't think that it's here.
One thing I'm seeing online says is north of the tree with the golden egg.
All right. We can do that. Oh, I should put on the speed. Put on the fast-moving speed. There's the tree. Let's see. Well, there's the like the door on the side of the mountain or something here. There's walnuts.
I think that's where you leave from. I think that's where you come out when you leave the clouds.
Oh, okay.
Could be.
I'm not seeing anything here. I don't know. I mean, because the tree is right there. There's the wolf. Well,
I just get eaten by the wolf. And that'll be the end of the story.
Yeah, see what happens. I'm
Maybe the wolf isn't that bad. Maybe you can do something with it.
It's a magical wolf.
well, I just hit the button, so I missed
Oh, I
what it
think the
said.
dwarf took something from you.
I know, but I don't know what. I hit the button too quick.
I took your dignity.
Yeah. Can I use the dagger on it, I wonder?
Open dwarf.
Yeah. Eat dwarf. You cannot eat the dwarf.
It's too bad. Can you plant the dwarf like a slightly large seed?
I don't see. I think it took the walnut from me. I can go pick up another walnut because there's one right here. I think that's the thing that's missing. I now have a golden walnut. Yeah, that was what it took, is the walnut.
Wait, the walnut to do what?
I don't know. I just said,
The walnut.
yeah.
Um,
I'm going to go back up in the clouds just see what happens. Let's see how
what's
high.
just to the right of the screen with the dwarf and the
I fell.
well, I guess you're climbing up the thing now.
I died. It says, I think it says you've fallen off the clouds. Adios.
Adios.
We are sorry you have not succeeded. We really are sorry.
All right, let's do this again. Sorry, it's like anticlimactic here. I thought it'd be a little bit more faster moving. But
These are, these games move at a particular pace.
yeah. Let's see. So, Clint,
Yeah,
how?
I always feel like after these games, I have to just go and play like Contra or something.
Yeah.
Just like shoot a bunch of stuff, because otherwise it's just it gets to be a bit much.
Do you
Yeah.
do a lot of like console gaming? I mean, do you have any of the newer systems?
Oh sure, yeah. I mean, I'll play mostly if it's available on PC, I'm gonna play on PC. But yeah, I mean, I've got all the modern ones and pretty much everything of the past too. But if it's got a keyboard and like a disk drive, that's pretty much where I'm at.
Yeah, I was checking out the PC88 that you got. The
Yes.
and that is not. You said it's one of the earlier ones, so it doesn't play like a lot of the games
the
it's kind of known
original.
for.
It plays no games, nothing that's any good. You're gonna have a couple of you got some text adventures on the PC 8801, the original one that I have, and there's some really early games that are kind of like the earliest IBM PC games. They're kind of its version of CGA, so 4 colors, maybe 8, depending on the graphics mode and things like that. Little beeper inside, so none of the FM synth 16-bit kind of games that the 8801 was notable
Right.
for later on. So no Snatcher, no Thexter, no anything like that. So yeah, this one doesn't do much except look amazing.
Yeah, it's a pretty neat looking computer, I think. It's
Yeah,
interesting.
brown and beige and more brown and beige. Like, why don't companies do that anymore? I don't know.
Would you say that
Brown.
you do? I mean, this is how it's become for me, at least recently. Is like I feel like I kind of like fiddle with things more than I play games a lot of times. Do you feel
Yeah.
like you kind of do the same thing?
Absolutely. I think most of the fun that I have is messing around with a project or
Just
a
kind of seeing what
computer
you can
or-
get to work. In a
Yeah,
way.
and then it's like, oh, well, I could play any game on here I want now. Well, time to move on to the next thing.
Yep. Yep.
It's like, okay, I've modified this. I've got all the best displays for it. It's perfect. I'm going to move on to the next project. It's
Yep.
like, yeah, all right,
No,
I've
I can-
completed that task.
I can absolutely relate. I spent like all this time, I feel like I just spent all this time thinking like, oh, how can I like optimize my setup even more. It's like, well, I could sit and like play games on it, or I can just like fiddle around with stuff. You know,
that becomes the more enjoyable challenge. I mean, for this 8801 even, it's still an ongoing project, but tracking down the weird, obscure 8-pin RGB cables and the display that's going to use it, and the tape drive and the thing that's going to be compatible with that, the power transformers and the specific lithium battery that it takes, and all those weird things have been way more fun than I'm ever going to have with it actually using it. So I just sort of revel in that. I have more fun waiting 3 weeks for a package to arrive from Japan than I do spending an hour playing some weird game on there that probably isn't going to be that fun anyway because it's from 1981. So
it's so true. Like I love like finding all the parts that I'm going to need, then like buying them and waiting for them, and then it's like, all right, it's together. It's like, all right, let's do something else.
Yeah, it's kind of like building your own little personal museum of small victories.
Yeah.
That's how it feels to me. I'll go in my storage rooms and stuff, and they're just filled with like 100 projects. It's like, oh yeah, that was satisfying. I'll probably do a video on them at some point, but I don't know, it's very much the hobby side of it as opposed to like the gamer side of it.
Yeah.
For me anyway. So
I mean, I'm always trying to get my game time back, but it doesn't come as often as I would like,
Yeah, perhaps the only time it does for me is if I'm forcing myself to take the time to set aside and play a game,
right?
Because I'm making a video on it. Otherwise.
Yeah, well, I mean I don't count, like, especially when we're doing RGB episodes, I don't count that as playing a game because I put it in and I'm recording for like a very specific purpose.
A lot of those too, you're comparing identical scenes on different outputs and different things like that too. So that's just pure work.
It's always got to be something like easily accessible.
Oh, I bet you these are the pebbles right here. I bet you these are the pebbles.
Man, pebbles.
Yep. Get pebbles. You now have some pebbles.
Sweet. I don't know what we do with them.
Oh, I see them. Yeah, that's a little different looking than any of the other ground tiles.
They are.
Yeah, I mean, like your output, all right, the amount of videos you put out is like insane. How much do you script? I mean, it feels like a lot of times like you're the way you talk on camera just feels like you're like just coming up with it most of the time, like on like naturally. Like I'm very, very envious of the way that you can, it doesn't feel like it's like scripted at all.
Yeah, that's taken a long time to get down pat. It's mostly scripted. Anything that's going to be, yeah. The only things that aren't.
All, or no?
No. I'll sit down and just either if I'm on camera, it's probably not scripted, but even some of that is. If the on-camera stuff, it's usually just ad-libbed, or I'll just do something for like 10 takes and just take the one that I enjoy the most. But yeah, for anything that's not on camera or sort of live or whatever, like the PC 8801, obviously that one wasn't scripted. It's just me talking. But yeah, it's I like a good script, but trying to get it to sound natural has been an ongoing process.
I mean, I went back and like watched like your oldest video recently, and it looked like you shot it like on mini DV.
I shot it on, what was it? VHS-C?
Oh, really?
Oh.
Compact VHS, yeah. So it was an old GVC camcorder. And that's those like $10 USB capture devices to hook to the composite output.
Like a Dazzle or whatever.
Yeah, I think it was a K-World 1000 or something like that. DVD, it converts VHS to DVD or whatever. But
yeah.
I used that for years.
Yeah, I mean, like that thing can do things that new capture cards can't, which is like see like composite 240p content.
Yeah, it captured like I reviewed a lot of Atari 2600 stuff at the beginning, and it had RF capture, and it would capture that decently. And it was fine for the time. That was 2008. So yeah.
That's cool though. I
Do you
mean,
use someone in the chat asked you use homebrew stuff to rip PSP games to play on the go. I've been hearing a little bit about that. I haven't really looked into it, but that is interesting, especially for stuff like Mega Man Powered Up that does not have a digital version. And people give the PSP Go a bad rap, but the whole DualShock connection thing, that is huge.
the stupid dwarf is like made me glitch.
It seems to have a weird issue in this game with getting too close to these random NPCs and just freaking out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, at least I can.
Did you get a password recently?
If I get stuck, I can just get the password right there.
Oh, let's say I worry if you get the password at that point that you'll already be past stuck.
I don't think so. I think that it's going to start me at the beginning of the screen. We'll see what happens. But so that's crazy. You shot everything on VHS at the beginning like that. I mean, like how I can't even imagine. Like I feel stressed out enough, like with like filling the memory card on my camera. I mean,
yeah, it was a little different back then. I mean, it wasn't even that long ago, but it seriously was. Like YouTube, I think it did 360p, maybe 480. So you had
When was it?
When I first started, it was 2006. And
wow.
Yeah, it's been 10 years, and that was about as high as it went. And then I remember when they added, proper 480p and then 720 and 1080. I'm like, oh man, this is crazy. Now I can upscale my VHS to 720p.
Yeah. I mean, I remember when YouTube first started, my perspective on it kind of was, well, it's convenient and easy to share stuff with, but if you want to share something in good quality, you have to upload it somewhere for download, and then people can just watch it on their computer. But now, I mean, yes, YouTube does compress in certain ways, and I think you definitely lose, like, I think some of the color gamut. And there are I'm not that I even know that much about, but I assume stuff like Vimeo is technically higher quality. But at the end of the day, the YouTube quality is so good now. Like it's not just a convenient way to share videos. It's like a really good looking way to share videos now too. So it's totally changed.
Yeah, good encode to begin with. It's at least presentable on most displays. It still leaves a lot to be desired, and 1080p, for instance, I think should be a higher bit rate instead of having to upscale it to 1440 or 4K resolutions just to get the higher bit rate on 1080. Like I know some people that they won't even upload 1080p video on its own because YouTube caps the bit rate at 1080p at something like 9 megabits. So it's really kind of low for a lot of newer HD gaming footage. And so it tends to be a problem. So they'll upscale it to 1440p or 4K, and then YouTube gives it a higher bit rate. So there's little tricks. But
I did not know that. Interesting.
Yeah. There's little ways to get around that. It's the same with audio quality. I think like 1080p is capped at 256K K-bit sort of audio bit rate. So it misses some of the different. I don't know. I don't even mess with that stuff because I really don't care too much. I mean, I'm mostly uploading old PC game footage, and it's fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, it's a whole lot better than it used to be, for sure. I mean, I was on Blip for a long time because I thought that YouTube just wasn't good enough, and they weren't paying me anything. I mean, I didn't even get a single cent of ad revenue until 2013. So
Really?
I was doing it from 2006 to 2013 for free, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I mean.
Wow.
I just wanted to do it, so I'm glad it's gotten better.
Am I throwing the
nice
pebbles at the giant?
I think you just throw them.
I think you do, or I seem to remember something about the giant just getting tired. Like if you outrun him for enough, he'll just like go to sleep.
There might be a few
Really?
ways to do it. I don't know.
Well, let's see what happens. If I hang out right here, maybe he'll just he's trying to get to me, but he can't. There's a bush in the way. Oh.
Yeah, if you can just like keep him away like that. This doofy giant Peter Jackson guy.
Yeah. He really does look like Peter Jackson.
I know.
He does, man. He really does.
He's doing his thing, walking back and forth, backwards.
Just tire him out.
That's crazy. So a lazy giant is tired. He lays down and falls asleep. Good
I
job.
don't
All right.
remember that. That's funny.
I seem to always remember there being a slingshot and pebbles situation, but there's not. The pebbles, I think, are for something else. Yeah, there we go. Let's
Okay.
tickle his feet.
So that's crazy. So I mean, I assume that you do it like it is like pretty much your full-time job at this point.
Oh yeah.
So how did you?
2013.
Okay, so that's when
as
you
soon
switched
as I
right
got
over.
It is, yeah. At that point, that's when I had gotten a partnership with an MCN. So
Mm-hmm.
before that, YouTube denied me. I tried to get a partnership for 4 years, and at that point, YouTube just was like, "No, we don't monetize game footage. That's not a thing. So you can't do that." And so yeah, they denied any kind of thing for years, and so I just gave up.
That's
But
crazy.
it was around
That's crazy.
yeah,
Like
around
how did
middle of,
how did like a lot of these people that were doing it? I mean, I guess like AVGN wouldn't count because it's more.
Well, see, they said they didn't monetize game footage, but they did if you had enough views.
I see.
So I didn't. And so at that point, I was hanging around 10,000 subscribers or 15,000 at the most. And
Wow.
this is in 2012. And so it was just like, all right, well. But at that point, there were a couple of networks that came around. I ended up signing with, Maker Studios, or it was the Game Station at the time.
Mhm.
They turned into a bunch of other things. Now they're Disney, so now I'm technically with Disney, but whatever, acquisitions.
Well, I can tell you
So-
for sure you wouldn't have been making any money at 10 or 15,000 anyway.
No, it was like even the projected thing was, it was so whatever. But I would have been happy making $20 a month. That would have made
Yeah.
my day.
Yeah.
I would have
Yeah.
been like, holy, because even on Blip, I was making like $10 a month. So, but yeah, as soon as I signed on and I was making proper ad revenue, it was the first month that it was $1 more than my day job. I quit. I quit that day job. I left. I ran. I'm like, who cares? I'm doing this, and I'm going to make it happen. And a year after that, Patreon happened, and so that
Right.
was another wonderful boost because I got in early on that, thankfully, and I think people were just really generous. I mean, that blew me away. So even that would have been fine, but YouTube plus that made it totally possible to do it full time.
So really, things have only kind of really exploded for you in the last few years.
Yeah, it's been since the beginning of 2013 that I feel that I almost became this thing. It's like a show. Before that, it was purely a hobby, and I still did videos. I've done one video every single week, at least one video a week ever since then. I just held myself to that as sort of a personal challenge. But yeah, now I'm up to 2 or 3 videos a week, and why not? I've got the time.
Yeah. Do
Shouldn't you
you?
have gone into like a cave to the right, like to the right of the giant?
It did. I think there is a cave somewhere on.
Like I remember
Okay.
going down like a lot of stairs. Like I don't know if there's something in there you need, but
I wonder if it looks like I can climb higher though if I wanted to. But I don't.
didn't you try climb higher and then fall?
I don't think I hit the actual climb. So.
But yeah, that's funny. We've our 3 years on YouTube is
Oh, there's the cave right there.
that 2013. We didn't start until later 2013. Our 3 years is going to be October 1st this year.
That's pretty crazy.
I slipped
Yeah.
out the
3
stairs
years
and fallen
passes
into
like
the
nothing.
vast void.
Oh yeah, these stairs are hard. On the PC version, this is very hard.
All right. Well, it looks like it's going to be hard here.
Oh my goodness. Wow, how are you even going to do that? I always use the diagonal like numpad keys to get down the stairs on PC.
Yeah, I remember when I played Police Quest, I was told, "Do you have a numpad keyboard?"
Yeah.
It does help at times. Like in
Certainly
Police
does.
Quest, you can't get onto the interstate unless you have diagonals.
So that's crazy. Like 2 or 3 videos a week. I mean, I feel like you have stuff like banked too that you like done ahead of time. Like
No.
no. Do you have like set hours that you say like, okay, I'm gonna work 9 to 5 on this?
Oh, I wish I did. I mean, like, it really is. I mean, that's where the lazy aspect comes in for me. It may not, the end result probably doesn't look as lazy as it used to, but it really is just whenever I feel like sometimes I'll take 3 or 4 days and not do a thing. And so it kind of, I have to get to the point where I feel incredibly inspired to do something.
Mhm.
And when I do, I might crank out 2 or 3 videos in 2 or 3 days. And then I'll be like, all right, here we go. I'm done for the next week and a half. And then I just won't do anything.
Then you
And
don't do anything, and it's hard to get back in that groove again.
it's a weird thing. I'll jump right in the groove and I'm perfectly in it until I burn myself out. And then I'll just like stop for a little bit. It's probably not a healthy way of working, but it does work.
See, the way I imagine myself doing, you know, if we ever get to the point where we can, you know, potentially do this full time or close to it, I don't know whether I could do the whole like I'm going to work on this from 9 to 5 and then I'm going to relax in the evening.
Never happens for me.
Which would be great, but the way I work on projects, like I am okay with working on if it's like the thing I expect to do for the day. I'm okay working on a project from you know, the time I wake up to the time I go to bed, and I'm okay for doing that for several days on end, as long as I get a few free days at the end of it. You know, like
Yeah. That's kind of how I enjoyed my quote-unquote normal jobs before, when I would have that sort of an option. And before YouTube, or before I quit that job to do YouTube full-time, I was making custom picture frames of all things. So it was just, it's sort of an open-ended job. It would depend on when the orders came in for what people wanted, and usually it was sort of that kind of a deal. And maybe I just kind of got into that routine of a bunch of orders came in, we got to do them all right now, and then there's nothing for 3 or 4 days, and then there's a lot of stuff, and then there's not. And
yeah,
I don't know,
yeah.
it kind of got me into that, and maybe it prepared me in some weird way, but it tends to work for me. And as long as I can keep myself ahead by a week or half a week, then I'm all right. Like at this point, I've got videos done until, you know, this next Monday and next Friday, but beyond that, no idea.
Yeah.
I don't even know what I'm doing for those days.
Yeah. Like, so, yeah.
You never feel like you're
I
going to
think-
run out of ideas, though.
No,
Do you?
I mean, I've got massive rooms full of stuff. I mean, I've got like,
Yeah, I mean,
you know,
that's
4,500 games and 100 computers just
Yeah.
sitting there. They're all
That's-
ready to go.
that's what we talk about. Like, there's just like no way we will ever run out of ideas. Like, we've got ideas that we've had written out since, you know, we
For
were
3
first
years
starting
now.
the show,
Mhm.
and most of them we haven't even gotten to because we always think of something new to do when it comes time to do an episode, unless it's like an RGB episode, in which case like we've got like a lot of topics that we kind of consider high priority for that, and you know they always end up getting pushed back. Like, you know, the Game Boy episode I originally said was probably going to release in April. Well, now it's probably going to be October.
Yeah, that happens to me all the time. I've got video ideas that have been sitting there since 2006 or 7, and I'm just now getting to them. Like next week, I'm finally covering 3D Pinball Space Cadet from like Windows XP and stuff. I
Oh
talked
yeah.
about covering that in 2007. Like it's been a long time.
You get people ask you, when are you going to do this? You've been talking
Yes,
about it for
people to
7
this
years
day.
or for 10 years.
You've been talking about this. I had people literally say, and this is sad, like I just graduated high school. I started watching you in middle school, and you still haven't covered this game. Oh my God, that feels. So, I'm so sorry. Like,
Yeah, you know that is weird because I think about that too. Like
We were just talking about this last night or a couple days
yeah,
ago.
we were
right?
talking okay, so this year's going to be 3 years. Next year's going to be, just 1 year from now it's going to be 4 years. Like imagine someone might have started watching My Life in Gaming their freshman year in high school, and then they'll be graduated. Like, and the amount of time that My Life in Gaming has been around to them might seem so much longer than it seemed to us, and it already seems to me like we've been doing this for a long time.
What if I cut the bucket? Is that a bad idea?
No, actually, I think that's kind of the right idea. I think you seem to get the bucket down into the water and then jump into it or something.
I feel like you're supposed to like get in first, but
It seems like one of these options is going to kill you. I don't know.
Fill the bucket. You can't do this now. Get bucket. You can't do that. But yeah, I mean, it's crazy to think about. There's some people out there that'll be. I mean,
Does
like-
lowering
like
the
think-
bucket?
I mean,
cannot lower the
imagine if
bucket.
someone started watching
Can I
LGR.
raise the bucket? What can I do to the bucket? Throw the bucket?
Can we lower it?
No, it says you cannot lower it.
Oh.
Maybe do I have to do something with the handle? You think?
Oh, the crank! Look at the
Oh,
crank.
yeah. Lower it that way. Use the crank to lower the bucket. Off to the right-hand side.
Right. How do I get to it? I mean, I can walk over to it, but I don't know how to make it. I cannot lower the walnut.
This is officially the worst playthrough of King's Quest ever, but that's okay.
Yeah. You know. That's what
You know.
it is. But
We
so
are
that
not here to show off our skills.
yeah.
All the people shouting in the chat like, "Whoa!"
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever.
Cut
I
the
don't know.
rope. People are like, cut it. I mean, I don't think I can cut it. You hack at the rope with the dagger. And that's all. Nothing happens.
You just hack at it.
Get rope? You can't do
Can you
that.
put something in the bucket?
I don't really understand why it gives me the, like the duck and the jump.
Duck into bucket.
Yeah.
Jump into bucket.
All right. Well, according to this one thing that I'm reading, walk up to the well and cut rope.
I gotta keep on cutting at it, you think?
Maybe you have to cut it several times.
I'm doing a
Or
whole bunch.
maybe.
there's any reaction.
After hacking at it, we should be able to get the bucket and lower the rope. I
Okay,
don't
okay, here we go.
know.
Cut
I do seem
bucket.
to remember this.
Oh, I
being
got
a
the
little
bucket.
iffy on-
Okay, you take the bucket,
Oh, hey.
lower rope. Oh, maybe if I go over to here, I don't know what happened. Maybe I gotta go around back here. Why can't I lower the rope? Look at the rope. You see nothing special.
This is getting intense.
I know. So you have like a whole room of, like you said, rooms of just like stuff that, I mean, how do you really decide on what you're gonna do for like that week? It's like, oh, I just feel like doing this. You ever say like, oh, this would be like a really easy one just to do? Because I feel like
Yeah,
that
I mean,
happens sometimes.
If I'm busy with other things or, just need something really quick, there's a whole slew of things that I feel like I could get done quicker than something else. So, yeah, it really is just what it feels like that day kind of thing. There's no rhyme or reason.
See, for that's an envious position to be in, because like for our RGB stuff, it's like there's like so many things that people like really want us to get to, and we like kind of feel like we need to get to those things, and
But
it's
we know
like
if we like just
we
only
can't
did those
rush
for a
it.
year,
We would go
like,
insane.
Yeah, we go crazy. We like to
Like,
do
as
like
it is,
easier
we have-
things.
Where's your RGB video on the Atari 8-bit series? Cool. No, like, yeah, seriously, I imagine those take like 1 billion hours to make. Some of those are like 30-some minutes. I mean, no way.
Yeah,
This
I
last
never-
one took. I can't even-
They are intense, but I mean, you know, I mean, we ultimately do enjoy doing them, but it's intense, and we sometimes need that break to do a game-focused episode. I'm not going to get a break to do a game-focused episode because I'm moving on to the AVS straight off of the FrameMeister alternatives. But the frame, this is going to be like, you know, such
So
a
much
break
easier.
compared to that. But you know, both of us have done so few game-focused episodes this year, and it'd be nice to sort of have a little break for a few of those.
That's about the only thing that I do as far as planning ahead. I just sort of feel that, okay, it's time for an Oddware episode, or it's time for a Tech Tales, or, you know, it feels like it's been a while.
Yeah.
Maybe. That's about it. I don't really have any kind of schedule, though, so other than I want videos to come out every Monday and Friday, but they could be anything. So
Yeah, that's nice.
Well,
That's
the cool thing,
nice.
like you do, like the thrifting stuff, which is a lot of fun, and you know, like you just go out and you can combine just like going shopping for stuff to see what you find and make an episode like while you're doing it, which is kind of nice.
yeah, that plays again right into the lazy mentality. I try to monetize my entire life at this point. My geeky existence is all on YouTube for everyone to watch and for all the ad revenue to go to. Like,
What do you kind
that's
of
what it's turned into.
what do you
I
kind of
was
feel
in,
like was your go ahead, try. Sorry.
Oh no, go ahead.
So what do you kind of feel like was your like big break? Like what was the if you had to pick one, like what was like the video that was like just like exploded, like
Well, the very first to do that was when I covered the Sega CD like 9 years ago or something. And at that point, it just happened to come out at the same time as James Rolfe put out his Angry Video Game Nerd video on Sega CD YouTube. So I got those related views.
Mhm.
And back then, that was a big thing. Nobody was covering retro game stuff as much, you know. So when you did something in a similar thing, it all of a sudden got like, you know, I got like 1,000 views overnight. It was the biggest thing. I had no idea you could even get 1,000 views on a video. And so, you know, that was like the first thing that I'm like, oh man, I should make more. But after that, no, it was when I started covering the Sims series. And at that point, there weren't a whole lot of people doing Let's Plays. They weren't really doing reviews on Sims. I don't know. It was just sort of a weird, untapped thing on YouTube. And again, I think that was also 2008, maybe 2009. But that was The Sims 3. And at that point, the game had started, you know, taking off on social media a lot. Tumblr and Twitter and all this was taking off. And YouTube was becoming a bigger thing. And I guess that community just didn't have any kind of videos to watch about those games, and they came to me, and for whatever reason they liked them, so I just kept doing them, and I cover every expansion pack, and those are still my most popular videos to this day, like by far. So
Wow.
some of those have almost a couple million views each, and there's
oh
like,
wow.
you know, 10 or 12 of them, and just between those videos, that's like 20 million views. So I mean, it's ridiculous how popular those got, and it was at that point that I'm just like, I almost became known as a Sims person. I never intended to be. I
Mhm.
wanted to do retro stuff, like so I do a Sims thing like every 3 months, but then in between that was just full of console games and DOS games and everything in between.
I think it's
Yeah,
really
we were-
important to kind of feel like to do the stuff that you want to do. Like even though like the sim stuff gets more views, you don't want to be
Yeah,
like, oh, this is all I want to do. Like this is all I can do because
Right.
that's what people know me for.
You know,
Like,
I mean,
you should
sometimes
do what
we'll
you
look
want to
at,
do.
yeah, sometimes we'll look at like a game-focused video we do, and those are never going to do as well as the RGB stuff. But it's like, you know, hey, it's okay, and you know, they're still doing pretty decent overall. And I think they, you know, just as the audience naturally grows, those, you know, those videos will be bigger over time. They're certainly a lot bigger than they used to be. You know, even just for those small, simple game focused episodes, we gotta keep doing those. I mean, we don't want people to think we're just about the tech and not about enjoying the games, because that's certainly not how it all started off at all.
Yeah, I think any YouTube channel is going to evolve into whatever the audience wants to a degree, but I think there is that sort of fine line between doing what you want and what everyone else wants. And if you don't do what you want, at least first and foremost, most of the time, you're probably going to burn out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, for me, that's been really important. I could have optimized, and I mean, I've talked to community managers and PR people and all these people that were like, oh man, you should do this forever and you'll get like, you know, 10 million views a month. I'm like, all right, I don't want to do that. It doesn't appeal to
exactly.
me. It's
exactly. I mean, as long as you're getting by, like do what you want.
Pretty much it for me. And you know, I just feel really lucky to have even stumbled into this. Like I still have that sort of, you know, older YouTuber mentality, I guess, where it's like, all right, it's still just a hobby in
It's
my
like,
mind.
how is this even possible?
Yeah, I still am I'm blown away. It's like I'm waking up and holy crap, I can just talk about anything I want. People are gonna watch. It's weird. So you know, I'm just gonna keep doing that as long as it makes sense to do so.
Literally, you can like make a video about anything you want. Like you did that. Like you just had socks made.
I made a video about socks.
You made a video about socks? I didn't see
Charlie,
that
you
one.
haven't. They're only going to be on sale
No.
for like a little bit longer.
Oh yeah,
Oh.
they're only on sale for a couple days longer. So yeah, this company was like, "Hey, we make socks for YouTubers." I'm like, "Well, that's stupid. Let's do it." So, you know, and they gave me a cut of the revenue, and I put that out there. I'm like, "Hey, if you guys buy a stupid thing of socks with my face on it, I don't know why you would, but I'm gonna get a cut of it, and that helps
Wait,
you
your
support
face
the show."
is on the socks?
Yeah,
My face
And-
is on the
and-
sock, like
And the
That is
logo.
amazing. That's amazing.
your face is
Little
on each
IPMs.
sock like 4 times. I think.
yeah, my face is all over the sock. I'm wearing a Jeff Goldblum T-shirt. Like it's the stupidest sock I've ever seen. And people have bought 250 pairs of these things. So I think that's the silliest thing ever. So I just had to do, like, you know, so people are doing this and it blows my mind. I really thought I would sell like 5 pairs of those. I wouldn't buy them. I even said in the video, like, I would not buy these socks if I were you. But hey, maybe that's why people do them, is because they're so absurd. So that's cool.
Never in a million years, I'm sure you thought that like you'd sell 250 pairs of socks with your face on them.
No, I've had
With
a
your face
T-shirt
on wearing a Jeff Goldblum T-shirt.
Exactly, and they're the worst looking socks. I'm telling you, they're like bright baby blue with little fake little lightning bolts, and I mean they're the tackiest things. And I intentionally made it that way too, because you know this company sent me a design, and I picked the worst one on purpose because I kind of wanted to test people. Like, are you really gonna get this? Like, how hardcore of a fan are you? And well, I guess I got my answer, and the answer is scary, and
That's great. So
Like,
that's funny. They just like came to you and said, "Do you want to do this?" And you're like, "Yeah."
it is pretty funny. Some of the offers that I get are really bad, and that one was just one of the best bad ones I've had in a while. That I had to do it.
What are some other ones that you've? I mean, like you did. There's another example of like just you did like the Duke Nukem face app. You like put Duke Nukem. Was that just like a face switching, or was it specifically of Duke Nukem?
Yeah, that was just something that I wanted to do. Like that was with Face Swap Live.
Okay.
And nobody approached me or anything. I saw that app forever ago, and I saw people doing their impressions of celebrities, and it sort of it'll place like a texture on your face, and it maps it in real time. And I thought it'd be great to do a Duke Nukem face on there, and so I could do the voice and stuff.
What a crazy like what such crazy technology, like how good it looks, really.
It is pretty convincing when it's at the right angle and the right picture and stuff. It's kind of scary.
That's cool. I mean, so is there any other like really ridiculous offers that you've gotten that you've done just that were like as silly as the socks?
Oh, the socks are the silliest. That definitely takes the cake for the one that I've done and actually done. Now I've gotten way more absurd options. Like I think there was a company that they said they did YouTube branded chopsticks, and I'm like, you know what? I mean, I like Asian food, but chopsticks, I'm sorry, I can't. I don't see why. I don't think so. So there's some weird things like that come across every so often. There was a company selling thongs. That was fun. And oddly enough, when I did the socks, they were like, "You should sell thongs." I'm like, "Well, dang it, I missed that opportunity already." So I can't. But, I was thinking about telling the company too. I'm like, if you did banana hammocks for dudes as well as thongs, then maybe I would do it. But yeah, I just didn't do that. It's interesting what some of the people out there want to do as far as branding it. I'm not a big branding person, but I like doing the socks kind of things every so often because as long as I'm free to say anything I want, and I can disclose the entire deal. Like, I mean, I told people the exact dollar breakdown I'm making from the.
I noticed that. Like if a certain amount sells, then you get like this like amount from it.
Yeah, exactly. I want to let people know exactly what they're getting into, and I think that kind of transparency only goes in your favor when you're a YouTuber. There's a lot of negative stigma about taking brand deals. So my way is like, hey, if I'm going to take one, I'm going to be totally straightforward about it, because otherwise I don't want to feel like I'm tricking anyone. So
yeah, and especially you save. This is exactly how much I'm getting for these, and it's socks. Like you can't.
And it's socks.
Nobody's
exactly.
gonna be upset about it. Like people are.
My face is on your feet. You're literally stepping on me. That's fine.
I'm just wandering around here. I don't even know where I'm supposed to go. This is like the worst now.
We've got Classic Gaming Quarterly and GameSack in here now.
Oh wow! Hey guys.
Bringing in the big folks.
Yeah.
Oh my! I must be getting that time of night when everyone is, I don't know, slightly tipsy or something.
Yeah. Well, it's Sunday night. I mean, that's got to be a great thing for you too.
The Sunday night.
Is that you'd probably feel like, the weekends almost probably mean very little at this point.
It's true. Yeah, weekends aren't very much a concept that make any sense anymore, except for in relation to other people.
Yeah.
Because, it's like somebody wants to hang out. Oh, of course they want to, because it's the weekend and they're not working. But
yeah,
I pretty much always work weekends. So, in fact, Sundays is usually when I'm working on something, but not tonight. That's fine.
I mean, I work freelance, so I work from home, but I also have 2 kids, so it's like although my daughter's starting preschool on Wednesday.
Oh, wow.
It's going to be kind of crazy.
That'll be a change.
Yeah.
How many days a week?
Next week, 5 days a week.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it's going to be me and my son, but he's going to be going to daycare like 2 days a week.
So you're going to have a little more time.
Yeah. I mean, these last couple of weeks have been tough because our previous daycare place like closed down. So I've been like with the kids all day long. But I think like when she starts school, and then my son's at daycare, I'm going to have a lot more time to work on my life and gaming stuff for sure. But also, like hopefully the amount of freelance stuff I get in will increase. I was busy for a little bit, but now things have like kind of slowed down again. Well, we'll see what happens. I don't know. I think that's going to be it for this game, though. That's 11. I'm going to just switch over to the. You can kind of wrap it up.
You're not quite the king, but I think your quest is about near the end.
Yeah.
Oh wow, it's
it's after 11 already.
11:07 now.
Yeah, we had a pretty good turnout tonight, didn't we?
Yeah.
Oh, about 150. So What do you have? I mean, do you like usually, Clint? Do you like ever say, "Oh, I'm working on this"? Like, do you have anything you want to hint at? I guess.
Well, I mean,
Well, you said you're
yeah,
doing the pinball, the Galaxy. Is it Galaxy or Universe pin? What is it?
yeah,
3D
3D
pinball.
Pinball Space Cadet, the pinball game that came with like Windows XP and stuff.
Right.
That'll be up probably tomorrow. I don't know if I'll put that up tomorrow or Friday, but definitely this week. I've got a thing where I'm putting together like a Lego IBM PC. So it's this
Is that
guy
just
that makes
something?
like custom.
Oh, somebody
Yeah,
makes
it's like
custom
custom
stuff.
Lego kits, and so he makes
Really?
these really impressive ones. They're like something pig builds. I forget what exactly, but yeah, he makes these really impressive. He's got some that's like old wood grain paneled TVs, Atari 2600s, game consoles, all out of Lego sets,
Mhm.
and so building one of those. And a couple other things that are like under embargo or something. But
Right.
yeah, that's like the only two. But at max, I usually have like 2 videos, and then that's about it. Beyond that, it could be anything. I could be reviewing, my carpet next for all I know. So
Yeah. So when you do the thrift stuff, I always wondered, do you just like cut down all the footage and just like talk over it, pretty much, or do
yep,
you? I mean, I always
yeah,
wondered like,
it's usually like 2 months of footage
oh
or
wow,
so. So I mean, 9 times out of 10, I'll go to a thrift store and find absolutely nothing. But, those few times that I'll find something interesting, I'll just capture it on my camera glasses or phone and chop it all together, make it into something presentable, and then just talk over it, in editing.
what I think is so interesting about Goodwill is like how different every single one of them are. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Like they're like, it just seems like different rules apply to different ones.
Well, see here in Charlotte, we've got no good games at the Goodwill stores because we've got a
You've got the
Goodwill.
grid.
We've got the grid, so all of the good stuff gets sent to the grid, and you go to a Goodwill and they'll have like one Wii Zumba game or something, But but the thing is, the grid like actually sells the games like for what they're worth for the most part, so it's not like a deal. It's
Even
not
some of the
it's not
Goodwills
even the
around
best
here,
store in the area. It's interesting though.
as what I've heard, I visited it way back when it was still a Computer Works,
Mm.
and yeah, so I don't know. I haven't been to the grid since it was rebranded as that, but I've heard that it's kind of hard to find things in that area because they'll send everything pretty much regionally to that one location.
We've got like a lot of good game stores in the general region though. We've got SafePoint, Video Game World, GameSwap. They're all really good stores, but yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like a black hole of stuff at the grid.
Yeah.
And yeah, like Jonathan Chapman in the chat, he's a friend of mine. He says they throw away PC stuff. That makes me sad.
Really?
That's really sad.
Wait,
In fact,
the grid
several
does?
places around here.
It's like
The grid does, and several places around here they've started throwing away big box PC games because they think
do you
they're
ever
gonna
go
sell
to
or
them and
something.
say like, listen, I'm interested in this? Like, would you
All
ever?
the time. I've done that for years. And in fact, they throw away or recycle computers that appear older than 5 to 7 years old. So they get rid of all the old computers. Those just aren't even an option. And with floppy disks, if they get floppy disks and they're not in a box, those get all tossed. Every single one of them. And a lot of the big box PC games are getting tossed as well now. And it sucks. I mean, there's a lot of stuff getting thrown away. So
Because it's just too.
it's getting hard.
It's just too big for what they don't want to take up the space for it, I guess.
If that was true, they wouldn't have 1,000 copies of Sorry and Aggravation in the board game section, but they do. I really don't know what their reasoning is behind that.
You just need to get like buy a dumpster to put on like in Goodwill parking lots. That's like put all your PC crap in here. Goodwill will throw it away, and it won't go to a good cause.
I know. I feel like picketing out in front of all the stores, or like, and honestly, I would probably resort to dumpster diving if they didn't have dumpsters with closed tops, and the dumpsters at the Goodwills all around here are the ones that crush automatically when you throw stuff in them.
Oh,
So they're those motorized ones. So
right.
I hate that, and it makes me sad. And I haven't found much in the past 6 months or so around
It's
here.
getting harder and harder. And now that
it really is.
They're not taking CRTs anymore. Are any of the ones by you taking CRTs anymore?
2 locations are still taking CRTs, but only of a certain era. So if they look older than, I don't know, the 90s, they won't take them. I don't know how they determine that. I guess if they have knobs on them, they won't take them, I guess. I don't ever see the old 60s and 70s and 80s ones like I used to see all the time.
Wow.
Some of my older LGR thrifts, you'll see that I find those kind of things, but not anymore. So yeah, it's changing. And part of that's due to recycling laws having changed. It's more expensive to recycle CRTs and stuff like that. But the PC game stuff, I have no clue why that's not getting through anymore. It's depressing.
Yeah, I see it every once in a great while, but just like even games in general are drying up. Although, like, I just got a GameCube. I always kind of try to wait for the half off everything days to really go. I mean, it's chaos in there, but
see, that's something we've never had here. Or at least I've never seen it, half off or any kind of discounts whatsoever at Goodwill. I've heard of other states.
Oh, like ours have
other
discounts every day. Like today was like if you're over 40, then you get 40% off. Stuff like that.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I've heard some they'll do like a color code for the prices, and it'll be like, red tagged things are 20% off or something. I've never seen that here.
Really? That's
never.
That's surprising.
And it's weird. I'm only about 20 miles or maybe 30 miles from the headquarters of Goodwill. At least that's what they told me, the regional headquarters. Mm-hmm. And so you'd think that maybe if it was a Goodwill policy, they would do this kind of stuff. But they don't. It's like you said, there's so many stores that do different things. I've seen some stores in other parts of the state, like near Greensboro, North Carolina, they're color-coded. This is the weirdest thing to me. They literally color-code their products. So, like, there's a shelf of just things that are red. There's a shelf of things that are green. There's a shelf of things that are blue. Like, they don't even separate them into electronics, appliances, kitchenware.
That's so, bizarre. What if they get something that doesn't fit into any... what if they have stuff that, doesn't even fit into any category?
It's there. It's totally in there. You'll see, bread baskets next to old word processors. It's really bizarre. So, yeah, the Goodwills, they seemingly don't have any kind of oversight except maybe in a small regional difference. Maybe someone's managing it. I don't know.
Was there a point where you were kind of have you always just kind of stopped in the Goodwill, or was there a point where you're like, maybe I should start going to these kind of places more often to see what they had?
Yeah, it's something I've done ever since I was a kid.
Oh wow. Okay.
They sort of started, at least the Goodwills around here, I guess, that style of them, I don't know. In North Carolina, South Carolina is where they had a really big boom. They sort of spread from there, from what I've read. And so we had 4 or 5 of them around at the general vicinity when I was really young. And I remember going in there and seeing old IBM PCs and clones and stuff in the early 90s, and copies of SimCity in the box for 10 cents and things like that. And so we would go in there and we'd buy, or look at anyway, old games and computers, and sometimes I'd get accessories, peripherals, games for super cheap. I mean, we didn't have a lot of money, so we went to Goodwill quite a lot. So yeah, I mean, it's just something that I've always kind of kept up with, and I never stopped going. But when I started collecting video games, and especially computer games, oh man, it was a gold mine for years.
Yeah,
because people were just tossing this stuff out.
Mm-hmm. Is there anything...
It was like that any kind of games for years. I mean, I remember going in to find NES games for 10 cents, 25 cents.
Isn't that crazy? And now it's there's a copy of Black Bass at my Goodwill that is $4. It's still not, it's not awful, but I mean, it's not 10 cents. Is there anything in your mind that you feel like is like the best thing you ever found there?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, the IBM
your
PC.
your microphone is fuzzing up again.
Oh no.
Yeah, try and plug it back in again.
How's that?
Yep, better.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I got a weird connector on this microphone. But yeah, the IBM PC XT that I found in like episode 2 of Thrifts, that's still been my best find, because that was at one of those stores where they said they just grind up old computers and just get rid of them.
Mm-hmm.
And for some reason, that one got through. Someone literally had to have messed up and put that thing out for sale. And that was one of those locations. They said, no, we'll never sell old stuff like that. This was a 1983 computer, perfect shape, fully upgraded. It would have gone for $200 online, and it was just there for like $20, and that was amazing. So when you find those kind of things, it propels you to go forward for just months.
Yeah.
Finding nothing, and then you might find something really cool. But
yep. How often do you stop? I mean, I stop like 2 times a week probably.
It's about 2 or 3 times a week for me.
Like I can't drive past it without stopping.
Same here.
Like because it might be that time.
Such a pain to get in and out of. So
that might be the time that you find something.
Exactly. I feel like I have that sort of goodwill sense. It's like if I think that this is the time I will find nothing, I will find something. So, and I've got like 8 Goodwills in my general vicinity. So sometimes I'll make that run. And I mean, there's so many. I have no idea why there's so many here, except that I guess we're kind of close to the regional headquarters or something. But yeah, there's a lot of them. So usually there's going to be something small that I will find. But I mean, it's getting depressing. I was at the closest one near me. It's where I found, in my thrift series, I would call it my previous favorite Goodwill. They did the big remodel over like 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
And at that one, they used to have a lot of good stuff. And it was very fairly priced and just a ton of great things. Now it's to the point where they're charging $10 for basic, like, greatest hits PS1 games. And, just everything is ridiculously overpriced. I found a clock radio for $45 there 2 days ago. It's just a clock radio. There's nothing special about it. So I don't know if I caused that. I sometimes feel guilty. It's like, oh, dang it. I've been buying all this stuff. Now they think everyone wants it.
Yeah.
But no.
Do you feel like you've
returns.
like covered anything, and do you feel like you've ever been directly responsible for something becoming like expensive? I mean, with the how large your audience is now. Like, I mean, you talk about certain things, and it's gonna make that thing more valuable, probably. You know what I mean?
I'm
like
sure it's happened, but I haven't actually followed that trend. I've definitely heard of it happening with other people.
Mm-hmm.
Where somebody, JonTron or something will cover like an old game, and all of a sudden it shoots up in value for a while.
Right.
So I'm sure it happens to a degree, but I haven't actually had anybody like, come at me and be like, "Man, this game is now $100 because you covered it." So it's it's certainly possible. I think that'd be kind of cool, actually, but I wouldn't.
Well,
I'd also feel guilty, so maybe not.
Well, we temporarily made acrylic nail polish racks go up in price on Amazon for like a week.
For
that's
display shelves.
Yeah, it was a super attractive thing for doing, Game Boy cartridges and all this. I mean, it made sense. I'd never thought of it.
Yeah.
Like I could see that happening. Yeah, I think if anything, maybe a couple of the weird oddware things that I've covered before. Like there was one I covered, the Diamond Edge 3D, and that if you haven't seen it, it's a card that goes in the PC that lets you play Sega Saturn games on your computer.
Wow.
And
right.
Plug in, Sega Saturn controllers to the back of your computer, and it's a special video card made by way old school NVIDIA that rendered quads instead of polygons on your PC. And I covered it, and I said it was really expensive and really rare in the video, because it was like $300 or $400.
Oh wow.
Now it's $2,000 on eBay, and I'm like, oh crap, I'm sorry. Like, I don't know if it was just coincidence, but maybe it's just gone up anyway. It's hard to tell, right? But I have noticed maybe some things just going up a whole lot in value since I covered them. I mean, even the old IBM PCs, when I first covered that in 2009 or so, it was $10 for one of those, and it's $200, $300, $400 now. So I don't know. I think just maybe retro stuff is getting more expensive in general.
Yeah.
So it's hard to correlate.
Yeah, it's just like everything has gone up at this point. There's no.
It is.
I feel very fortunate that I have a lot of things from when I was young, like a lot of things that are really expensive now.
Anything in specific? Because the stuff that I had when I was a kid is really cheap.
No, I mean I have my like my complete. I got on the day it came out, Chrono Trigger, which is it's like
nice.
150, maybe even more. Like complete in box, like a lot of Super Nintendo stuff.
But you don't have your
I don't have
one complete in box snatcher.
I don't, and that's like I sold that for $80 when I moved to New York.
Probably seemed like a lot at the time.
Yeah, now it's like $550. So
yeah, man.
Someday, I don't know. All right, I think that's going to do it for us for this week. Thank you everyone for joining us. Clint, thank you so much for coming on and just hanging out and talking.
Oh yeah, sure, totally.
All right, everybody, we will see you next week. Have a good night.
Good night.
Good night.